Randall Hughes with GodGlorified.com, and we are commenting on our Bible reading for today for June the 4th. And our reading was from 1 Kings chapter 9 and 10 and 2 Chronicles chapter 8. And this is during the reign of Solomon. Interesting period of time. Part of it with him continuing his building Milo, or references to the buildings of various cities, store cities, chariot cities, horseman cities that he built in various places, and the various workers and the people that he set over it. Some of the Canaanite people that had survived the Israelites' invasion that he put to work, and basically they were slaves to Solomon and his kingdom. And then it references the burnt offerings that he continued to do 3 times a year at the altar, following the commandments of Moses for the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of Weeks, and the Feast of Tabernacles. Of course, the Feast of Unleavened Bread coincides with the Passover. Virtually the first day of the unleavened bread is Passover. And then the Feast of Weeks, of course, is the Feast of Pentecost. 7 weeks after the Passover. And so Solomon was faithful in that, it sounds like, at least for some period of time. And they continued to follow the commandments, it says, at this time. But obviously we know there was a point that his heart was turned away and he failed to follow after God. And so then Solomon and his navy, with ships coinciding and working with Hiram and his ships and his navy, training them to become equally, sharing their skill sets. And then Queen of Sheba coming to visit, and her amazement at what she found, and said that the half had not been told, and of all of his wisdom and all of his splendor, and his going in and coming out of the house of Yahweh, and his worship, I guess what that would be at that time. As we said, some point later in his life, he became a little more disenchanted and did not follow Yahweh with a pure heart and with his full heart, began to follow other gods. And so tremendous wealth that the Queen of Sheba, brought with her and shared with Solomon, and yet it sounds like she took some of the things to offset. I don't know if you would call it she purchased or traded, but at any rate, and that he answered all of her hard questions, that there were no hard questions that he did not answer for her. Nothing was left unanswered. And then it talked about the revenue that came into the nation, that he had made silver like rocks, and the cedar was like sycamore. It was in such abundance in the city. And so just a tremendous time of prosperity for the nation of Israel. In fact, many feel like that this was its borders were at its max during Solomon's time. And so very, very unique time, and a great time for the nation of Israel under King Solomon during his blessed years. And so that's the primary thing we want to comment on today, that we don't ever want the blessings of God to take us away from God. There was a songwriter some years back, Margaret Becker, that she sang some songs, and one of the songs was about Solomon and how that the blessings blinded him. I don't remember exactly all the words of the song, but it was about not to follow in Solomon's shoes. Had something to do Solomon's shoes, dancing in Solomon's shoes or something, and trying to avoid overlooking the blesser by being overwhelmed by the blessings. And so I want the blessings of God, but I want to be saved. I want my heart to be right, and I want to share with others what God has given to me, what little knowledge and understanding of his word and his truth. And so somehow, some way, I want to bless his kingdom, bless his people. And but I want to be saved myself. I want my family to be saved. I want as many of my relatives as possible, and my neighbors and coworkers, everyone that I can possibly influence in some way to point to salvation. I want to do that. But first of all, I need to save myself. And I can't, as understanding, I can't save myself, but I have to put myself in position to follow after God with all my heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love him with all heart, soul, mind, and strength. And that will give me, and when we all do that, that will put us in the position for the greatest blessings. Not all of God's blessings are financial. It's important for us to realize that. Not all of his blessings are material, nor are all of his blessings health. There's times that health has been an issue in my family, and so but there's other ways and other things, and you just at the end of the day, you have to say, I know that I'm thankful for what the revelation God's given to me, the knowledge of salvation that he's given to me, the truth that he's allowed me to understand. And so I just want to share. I want to be a blessing, want to be used of God in some way. And I pray that you are blessed in some way, that ultimately our lives can give him the glory that he deserves. It's my desire for the earth to be filled with the knowledge of the glory of our great God. God bless you.